Welcome in to the latest episode of the NFL podcast on the Betting the Pitch Podcast Network. I'm your host, real underscore G Warner, joined by at A underscore Schnicker. He won his best bet last week. The Naked podcast did not work out. Probably best for all because it was going to continue until it lost. But I've now put a shirt back on. I'm back wearing the Tennessee Titans because, well, they have one win so far this season. I am still chasing them. But it's been the best bets have been horrible. My other picks have been much better, but I've been struggling. Did not have a great last weekend, and so now we're trying to figure out where to go from here. A underscore Snicker, how are you on this week 11 episode?
Oh, I'm doing wonderful, Griffin. Are you doing the Donald Duck to change up the mojo with just the shirt and no pants, or what are we
Nope.
doing today?
I uh I I don't really know what to do anymore. I I'm just trying to change the mojo a little bit.
Have you looked at
And
the schedule this week?
it's great.
You like it?
It starts with a great game on Thursday. Then we have an even better game in
Sunday morning?
Madrid.
Yeah.
Todo el partido en español, por favor. Y después we have a beautiful
Oh, we're
Sunday
not.
night football game, which
That's the Sunday night game? Okay,
I'm
that's
looking
a good
forward
one.
to it. And then Monday night is horrible as well. So we're going to go through those standalone games because that's what we do every episode. And then we'll spend more time, hopefully, on others.
There
Um,
are three like really, really good games, and the rest are really bad, frankly.
the rest are my best bet record so far this season. So we'll start
Yeah.
with the New York Jets. And unfortunately, BetOnline has done away with their classic site. So I cannot freeze lines anymore and check them to see where they've moved. So I got to be really on top of things and starting on this podcast. New York Jets, 13-point underdogs right now. That one has certainly climbed. Total is 43 on this one. They are visiting the New England Patriots. They were really good this week, including an incredible end to the first half to take a lead into the halftime break, deciding to run all the clock out and then go for it, giving up the field goal, then had a couple big touchdowns. But this number had climbed from 10.5 look ahead number to 11.5 at open, now up to 13. Total has plummeted, meanwhile, from 46 to now 43. So we've increased 2.5 points on the side, down 3 points on the total. How do you explain that besides everyone likes the Patriots?
Yeah, it's a big number with a really small total. So we've now reached our rhythm of okay, Thursday night, let's go under, just basically without any sort of consideration or handicap. Although, like I would say, earlier in the season that was not the case. Even we had a quite a run of overs on Thursday night games, but last week maybe people watched that Denver Raiders game and said, okay, we're back in the under category for these short week games. Which, if you really break it, it makes sense, right? Like we're deeper into the season. There's more wear and tear on the body, so less recovery means you really just don't have the juice to go back out there 3 days later. And so, and I mean, yeah, it's looking at a team that obviously is performing really well, playing really well. Everything's going right. And how are they going to continue to respond to that success against the Jets, who had like two? It's amazing they won that game on Sunday with the special teams touchdowns. It was a recipe, like I think their total yardage was what, 200 yards? Was it 200?
The Browns fantasy defense I picked up, they scored 8 points despite allowing two
That's
kickoff
incredible.
or two return touchdowns, which was unexpected. But
Better pick than the Bills. I'll say
it
that
was
for sure.
the Bills. We'll probably get to them a little bit later. There's a lot to say about that one. So, do you think the Patriots, who are now favorites to win the AFC East, favorites to, I don't know, make Bill Simmons? I think his great uncle, he shared it on his podcast this week about his great uncle saying, "You never walk by a bathroom once you hit 50 years old, and you never leave a heart on unattended." So.
Oh
Uh,
my God.
And I think Bill Simmons is probably every time he watches Drake May, one of those two things is happening. Um, Do you think the Pats will lay an egg here? 13-point favorites in Foxborough.
Sure. Yeah. I, I'm not saying sure as in yes, it's going to happen. It's a division game. Um,
It is.
but could they sleepwalk through this and win
Totally.
17 to 6, 7, you know what I mean? Like, yes.
I think I played under on this game last season, and it was very, very nice.
It's just hard to do anything with the Jets. And I know that's what we're trying to do here is look for every angle.
I mean, I
You're
think if
right.
you're playing the Jets or under, probably more under than Jets, you want
Sure.
Justin Fields to start and to hold on the ball, take sacks, but just keep the clock running, not throwing completions, all that sort of stuff.
Sure.
The Aaron Glenn, Anthony Glenn, his brother. The Aaron Glenn just not naming quarterbacks forever seems to be really weird to me. But also, let's not forget the Jets are on the biggest win streak of the season, one that I am certainly jealous of at this moment. Um, I I don't think I'm taking the plus 586 and the Jets to go steal this one, but I mean, I have not had a great season predicting the Patriots, both for and against. I
Incredibly, you have picked against you. You've like done the opposite every time. It's incredible.
yes, that's exactly correct. I think this number is huge. I think it's bigger than
Yeah.
it should be, but it's
Yes.
got to be because there's no New York Jets money coming in. And I would honestly think that the under at 43 makes a lot of sense because who's betting over in this game unless you're just really expecting the Patriots to put up and do all the heavy lifting, which I just don't necessarily think that on a short week is likely against a team you see a lot, all those sort of things. Yes, coaching staffs have changed over from both these teams, et cetera, et cetera. Um, I just don't really see the Patriots getting long rushing touchdowns because they haven't really shown a lot of that this season. Um, yes, the Jets have been trading away pieces, but they win after that. So unless you have something more to say, we can move to the Bernabeu in Madrid in the apparently the richer district because a lot of the ESPN broadcasts when soccer was just coming on, they would always say that Atleti were like the industrials and the well-to-dos was Real Madrid, and then they had some reporters
Oh,
be like, "Hey, you shouldn't say that. That's like not cool at all." So the Washington Commanders and the Miami Dolphins are meeting. Wow, how things have drastically changed in this one. Right now, the Commanders are 3-point underdogs in another continent. Totals 47 and a half in this one. In terms of movement, we saw the Commanders 2-point favorites in look ahead numbers, but that must have been before the Jaden Daniels injury. Total was 47 then. We've increased a half of a point to 47 and a half. But the Commanders are now 3-point underdogs. So that's a pretty significant move. A lot due to injury, a lot due to the performance of the Commanders, though, in a pretty tough matchup against the Lions, though it was in their home digs. Now they're facing the Dolphins, who've been horrible away from home for years. But now the Dolphins come in off of a huge upset victory against the Buffalo Bills. Explain that to me.
can I explain the upset?
Yeah, explain the
No, because
upset
no
to me.
one can. I mean, it's even the sharpest guys in the world. Like you just always go against the Dolphins when they play the Bills. I mean, when the two teams played in week 2 or 3, the Dolphins played really well. They had a chance to win at the end until Tua turned it over. They covered that number, which was a humongous number as well. I think it was 11 or 12, maybe.
Yep, yep.
So yeah, it's a division game, and we've talked about it. I know you and I talked that morning. We watched the number move. I don't think it had very much to do with the weather and the climate, but it is always something to factor in. We've talked about. I just think that the Dolphins beat their ass. Like I mean, it was pretty one dimensional from the Bills, and you know,
So from a Dolphins perspective, can they do that 2 weeks in a row?
yeah,
Because I mean, the Dolphins have been playing a lot better. Once they got rid of that GM, clearly he was the problem. I'm the problem. It's me," said the GM. Uh, I don't know really how to explain it necessarily. Besides that, but I mean, we've been alternating performances, but had more time to prepare after a Ravens blowout victory, which or blowout victory for the Ravens, loss for the Dolphins.
sure.
But Dolphins, I mean, doesn't seem like the venue has mattered. They smacked the Falcons around on the road. They then beat the Bills 2 weeks later at home. Played the Chargers really close. Didn't play the Browns close at all. Couldn't stop the run there. So a lot of questions. But does a 3-point favorite make sense for the Dolphins considering their very, very wide range of outcomes?
Yeah, it's a pretty strong move. It says quite a bit, and I think the instant reaction is to try to push back from that. I think you can look at Marcus Mariota. This will be his fifth start of the year. Hasn't been terrible in half of those starts. I know that he played well against the Falcons. The defense just let him down again, um, and then he played well against who else was it? He had a good game against the Raiders, but that was earlier in the year. I just think it's hard to figure. I know they've had some injuries, so maybe that's part of it. But what Washington's defense was last year with a defensive minded head coach who had really felt like he had created a new sort of style, a new mantra. He was really great with the Cowboys as the defensive coordinator. I'm talking about Dan Quinn. Um, I don't. It's baffling to me that they haven't improved in year two, and I think still to be blamed is part the personnel. I still think they're trying to piece it all together rather than committing to and finding like their core of guys. And then maybe that's a salary cap deal. But yeah, the defense just has no answers. Like giving up 40 plus to the Cowboys, Seattle, Detroit. Those are strong offenses, but like they're just not showing any life at all. It
Well,
makes me
they've
nervous.
they've solved that because Dan Quinn is now calling the plays this week. So that's gonna totally make that age defense that somehow found a way to get blasted in the NFC Championship and then basically kind of return with a pretty similar type of strategy and squad. It's simple as that. Just let the head coach come in and who's got a pretty strong track record of being a great defensive coordinator. It's helped him become a head coach multiple times. And to be frank, I mean, I'm not believing that what I'm just saying, but the Dolphins being a 3-point road favorite or neutral favorite is pretty significant. Like that's, I mean, correlates to let's say 1.5 more, so 4.5 or 5-point favorites in Miami. Washington, the problem to me is that they've been really banged up offensively and their defense is not good. So it's really hard. They're going to have to outscore the opponent, and that has not worked. Um, the Dolphins couldn't stop a nosebleed running the football for a long time this season, but something has happened where they've won a couple games against pretty prolific rushing attacks. James Cook, I'm sure, was started everywhere in fantasy football, probably big DFS plays on him as well. Plus, I mean, that Falcons game blowout too. That's another great rushing offense. So maybe Miami has fixed that. I don't know that Washington is necessarily a good rushing offense themselves, but it seems like they're not really good at much. And so that's the hard part if you're taking a road team, excuse me, a neutral team as an underdog in another country. Because I don't love the Dolphins, but we do know that they have shown a competent offense with these personnel before. Maybe not so much this season, but Achane we know is a 70-yard touchdown at any time. There's no one in the Commanders that can do that. And Tua, I mean, against a pretty weak defense, maybe I feel like I'm talking myself in the Dolphins right now. Against a pretty
Well,
weak defense, like if there's any place for him to succeed, and he's shown some flashes of that, and that's certainly more than we'll ever see Marcus Mariota do, I think.
yeah, you're right, and what makes me nervous is Miami's offenses can be very explosive, and Washington has not been able to contain any explosive plays. Um, I, I often think this is not, this is anecdotal, it's not scientific, but I do think you, with the head coach taking over in one of those things, you sometimes see the similar kind of bounce, or similar kind of positive momentum in a week, and then it's time to reassess afterwards. It's just a different voice, different motivations. I think that those things can get the attention of even professionals. So I I would expect we see a better performance there, but like fundamentally they cannot stop explosive plays. Miami is even without Tyreek Hill, um, one of the best at explosives when they're within rhythm.
I could see a lot of outcomes in this game, obviously. I just don't see a lot where the Commanders are winning. Uh, So maybe that's easy enough to skip on a +3 right there. We'll move now to Sunday Night Football, which is a good game to discuss, and then we can go through after we cover Monday night because we have to. Then we'll go through and find some others. Um, this is I mean, maybe one of the better games of the year, but we thought last night, Monday night, the 10th of November, would be one as well. The Detroit Lions, 2.5 point underdogs to those Philadelphia Eagles, fresh off a big win in Lambeau Field. Don't know. We can probably talk more about this when we get to this game that we're currently on. But the Lions opened 1.5 point dogs. They're now two and a half. The total is 48. It's now down to 46.5. Probably a lot based on a 0-0 halftime score. Actually, whereas a football game of the American variety, so 0-0 or 0-0. How do you, I mean, Eagles one less day to prepare and travel back to Philly from Green Bay is not nothing. Detroit, we're at home, or excuse me, we're on the road in Landover, Maryland. Probably came home and then we'll go back. So that probably limits any sort of rest advantage, but the Lions did get a big win, didn't have to expend a ton of energy. We're playing backup quarterbacks, all these sort of things. Um, you think they get to 3 point underdogs on the road at Philadelphia?
Hmm. Certainly going that way. Hey, what would you make Lions Cowboys on a neutral? I know I'm putting you on the spot here, so
I
I'll
would make the Lions a
um
6.5 point favorite.
okay. On a neutral, 6.5 point favorite. So this number is saying that the Lions are 4 points better than the Cowboys. I think this is from the start of the season. So obviously we've moved power numbers. Um, Philadelphia, I've been against several times this year, um, and I will give them credit. They are exhibiting, the championship type mentality where they've been outgained in most of their games. Their offense just looks anemic, and yet they're finding ways to win and covering these like shorter numbers because the metrics don't scream, scream that it's a dominant side or a good side. Um, this feels again another one like we were talking about where I'm like a head scratcher where, um, yeah, but I'm also not sure about the Lions. Like, I'm not totally sold on who this Lions team are. Like, they still have a bunch of issues in the secondary. Clearly, with Dan Campbell calling plays for the offense, they felt like they needed to have something change. And Jameson Williams was great on Sunday. Um, yeah, I would lean towards the Lions in this because I think there's
Let's not
quite a
forget who they played on Sunday, though. We did just talk about a game at the Bernabeu where Real
yeah,
Madrid
yeah,
played.
yeah,
Not a lot of defense played in that stadium. You can certainly say that from the Washington Commanders perspective.
yeah. You're right, and I think that there's actually a team we're going to talk about later that I think is really who I think is really good, but is probably is overinflated going into this weekend.
Okay,
Had
well
similar results to
let's
Commanders.
I like the
Um,
foreshadowing. That's a professional tease, but let's stay with the Lions because I think you're telling me that you were impressed by the performance against a bad Washington team. You said to me that Detroit, who have they beaten this year on an earlier podcast and
right. I
before
mean,
they
they have
lost
a
to
Tampa
Kansas
win.
City.
They have a
Yeah,
Tampa win.
and that one's looking a little weaker by the day.
I know, but at some point we're looking at it like, okay, what are the quality wins? Because everyone is just beating everybody this year. There's really in the NFC, it just feels so widespread. And I don't know if I would necessarily like if I'm making a bet in this game. I don't know if it's because I feel great about the Lions. It's more of just not sold on what the Eagles are.
So the
And
Eagles
it's
have
like the
a blowout loss on the road, I believe on a Thursday night to the Giants. That wasn't really explicable. They had a huge
yeah,
lead against the Broncos that they blew four
yeah,
days before that. So clearly not a good week right there.
sure.
The rest
They
of the Eagles season has gone pretty well. Close opener win, but they had a spitting incident with their most important player on defense get ejected before a play was even run. So
yeah,
like road win at Kansas City was pretty
that
good.
was a good win.
That comeback against the Rams, I'm sorry to bring it up, but you know that's one.
I,
Uh, The no
To me though,
completion
the
second
comeback
half
is like,
against the Bucks, which is because they had a big lead, but I mean, you could say it. They've been all over the place this year, but man, those they've been in really good position to win every game except maybe that Giants game
yeah, and that's I mean that's what I mean is like they've
that they didn't win. I guess they probably should have lost the Rams and should have beaten the Broncos if you flip those two. But we're still almost at the same record here, and that's 7-2 Super Bowl champions that look like they've survived the personnel disliking each other and forgetting about parking lot meetings.
they've 100% gotten the results, and that's what I was saying is like they're getting the results and they're covering. That's what that's what we're doing here.
Fair
Like they're
amount of
covering
respect
those.
for them also in that Dallas game, considering, or excuse me, in the Green Bay game, considering they were what? They were
Just
two
picked
pick 'em at close or plus
one
one
point
all week or
favorite.
something.
Yeah. Um, yeah, I don't think they outgained an opponent though until week 7. It's just I think it's natural to maybe sleepwalk through some of this stuff after you've won a Super Bowl. Um, I think the offensive coordinator is not working. Oh, one thing we did not talk about was
Let me
the injury on.
before we say the one thing we don't talk about. I think there's more to hangovers and just not being able to get your body together as a Super Bowl champion because you play a, a bunch more games than everyone else. And I think I'm almost like kind of being like, okay, yeah, I mean, the Dodgers were not great in Major League Baseball this year, ended up winning the World Series. They had a really slow regular season. That happens when you're playing so many extra games. NFL, most grueling, of course, of all sports. Injury, go ahead.
Lane Johnson,
Returned after leaving, which was
but then left
bizarre.
again.
Yeah, that's not
He did.
good.
He missed
I don't
the.
like the leave again is not ever good.
Well, that's because like I mean the dude is like he's a machine. So like props to him. It's like okay, I'm
I
going
thought he was
back
gonna
out there.
cry when he walked off the sideline the first
Like
or
it's
off the field the
incredible,
first
man.
time.
He went back out there, but yeah, that's what like he may play. Like that guy has played through some crazy injuries
He
during his
probably just
career.
eats Toradol for
Oh
breakfast,
my god, dude, he's incredible. But like,
especially after seeing Nick Mangold just die. It's really sad. I hope we're being smart about those things. But
yeah, no, I'm not. I mean, you know, that uh, serious, real talk to you know to consider. But I'm sure he might. I think he probably will play. But the quality there, I don't think. I don't know. And I think that the Detroit defense, the defensive line, obviously is very good. So
okay, Lions have a
here's how
bad
they win.
secondary. The Eagles are not really the team to exploit that.
That's what I mean.
Though
Is like
Devontae Smith was pretty good on Monday night in limited action. AJ Brown is a ghost, but is a pretty good decoy, I guess, if he needs to be.
there were
Um,
times like not times, most of the season last year where yeah, we criticized the Eagles offense, but it was like, oh my gosh, like you get Hurts out of the pocket and he's gonna they were it was a weapon. This year I felt there was no sense of like, oh, they're about to just blow this thing open. Like just spurts, uh Saquon not getting his whether it's, fatigue or whatever it is, like he's not the same runner as he was last year.
Maybe not, but he still has those explosive runs,
He
like that
does, yeah.
spin that he did on third and long last night to
Yeah.
break a play. And I was like, oh my God, he might go all the way. And
Um,
there aren't a lot of guys that most running backs, I'm like, oh, I know he's gonna get caught by DB. I don't think Saquon is one of those at this
what's the
point
total
still.
in this game?
It is 46 and a half,
Hmm.
which
I'm
you basically
thinking,
have the Lions who score a million points and could concede a bunch, and the Eagles who are going to try to grind this game out. So I think if you like the Eagles, you probably like under. If you like the Lions, you
right.
probably like over.
Maybe,
Um,
but like,
why is this number below 3?
yeah.
I don't see it's been 3. It's climbing towards it, steadily approaching.
Well, I mean, based off of like our numbers, it probably should be. I'm fine with 2.5 to be real.
I think, I mean, it hasn't been pretty. And yes, the Lions can certainly go win this game, but there's plenty of questions about who the Lions have beaten so far this season. That secondary, if it's porous,
Have
and the
you
Eagles' offensive trenches have really been undefeated for a long time now, or defeated twice out of what the last 20 games, it feels like.
yeah,
So
have you enjoyed the recent occasions where you've bet a home favorite at 2.5?
I
Because
have
I have
not.
not.
I have not. It's not been a great season for that. Though I do feel like I was pleased with my Tampa Bay Bucks bet last weekend. I wanted to prove that the Patriots could do it. I think we're in a similar situation here with the Lions, where I want them to prove to me that they can go win this game in Philadelphia. I don't think they can do it.
It's
Um,
probably the hard. I mean, Kansas City will be up there, um, but Philly's
I mean, I
probably the
did like
hardest
the
place to
Lions a
play.
lot going into KC, and they were good at the start and then looked very, very sheepish for a lot of that game. And things changed. Can't use the transit property, but the Eagles went there and won. Yes, you could say the Chiefs were in a worse predicament at that point. But I don't know. I think the Lions still have plenty to prove, and I feel like the Eagles have proven it. And until they stop proving it, I think I'm a believer.
Tough place to play for sure. Prime time. This game is usually you just lay it with the Eagles and sit back and relax. And in
Yeah.
recent history,
And,
that's
and
usually the play.
if you lose, you lose. I feel like unfortunately, I wish I was on the other side of that, but um, that's kind of where I'm feeling at this point. We move to Monday night. Dallas Cowboys visit the Las Vegas Raiders. Jerry's out of the news cycle, but fortunately, the trade deadline has passed. So I guess there's not much he can do besides go out and who know, father another child.
Mm-mm, mm-mm.
Cowboys 3.5 point
Allegedly,
favorites at Vegas. Yeah, I wasn't paid to be quiet about it. So total is 50 on this one. The Vegas Raiders. I mean, there's gonna be more Cowboys fans, I think, in the stadium
yeah,
for
for sure.
sure.
Yeah,
Does it matter? Did that Arizona loss just kill the season? Because the Cowboys made some trades, like they're still in it. Maybe trying to replace this guy they traded away to start the season that they could have used. But uh, there's a lot of love for Geno Smith in the fantasy markets right now, and I I'm questioning it.
oh, like for this week, people are
Yeah,
saying like it's a
go
good
get him. Don't worry that he
waiver.
was sitting with a heating pad on his thigh last week. Go get him.
Yeah, I'll let someone else go for that. Even though it is the Cowboys, that's like low hanging fruit. You kind of have to use your brain a little bit on that. Okay, Cowboys coming.
I've been paying a lot of Trey Tucker or whatever the heck his name is. So if this is not the week, I'm just
Yeah,
gonna have to quit.
um, Cowboys coming off a bye.
That's huge. Helps.
Um, and yeah, like the by the way, hey, the Packers draft pick that they're handing over may not be as
Another
bad
win for Jerry.
as people were. I mean, it's just funny though. Like immediately after happening, we're doing the same thing, but like it's just like, what are we doing? Oh, and we just make these assumptions about what the Packers are going to be. Anyways,
They're just still
the Quentin
developing their
Williams deal.
rookie quarterback, you know.
Do what?
They're still developing their rookie quarterback who's been in the
Whew.
organization for 5 years.
Yeah, he plays like a rookie, often, often. Okay, so it usually starts with any Raiders game. We look at if they're going to be able to get a pass rush. Should be able to do that against the Cowboys' offensive line. Um, when I was looking back through, like, what did the Cardinals do so well? It
Mm.
was they got pressure off the ends. They did play a little bit of bend but don't break, which is a pretty predominant style now in the NFL. I think it really affects the Cowboys because um, well, and we'll see. We'll see. Like CeeDee Lamb has not been as explosive as he has in previous years. Um, Pickens has been pretty explosive, but um, yeah, I think we're going to obviously get a great effort from the Cowboys in this situation. And it's going to be in a place where it's going to be very friendly for them, home field, or not home field, but it's going to feel like home field coming off the bye. So we kind of lost our way on the over bets with the Cowboys, and I'm sorry to bring this up. It's still fresh, but like still makes sense to me to probably go back to the over and just say,
I
okay,
mean, I'm leaning overs on Cowboys games until
like
a lot changes. The question, I don't know that I can trust Geno Smith because
yeah,
we were talking about this, I believe, on previous episodes or maybe offline. The tight windows that he throws the ball into, I just don't think he has the arm strength for anymore, or maybe his guys just don't get in the right spots, and he still thinks or knows he has to throw it, so he does. But that could mean short fields for the Cowboys, which could mean a blowout, and that'd be tough for an over because you usually want both to participate. But a
yep.
lot of points will force the other team to score a lot of points and certainly changes motivation to tackle and put yourself in harm's way. So, all those things of interest. Let's go back to the Sunday card and see where else you'd like to discuss.
I'm I think I'm excited for several of these games, but I'm most excited for Seattle visiting the Los Angeles Rams.
I don't think you're alone. So that's a 3:05 start. Didn't even get America's game of the week.
I know, isn't that
L
wild?
LOL, because you know it did.
What
The
did?
Chiefs. But
That's a good game too. We'll probably talk about that one too.
yeah, we'll do that one next. So current number, Seahawks 3-point underdogs, totals 48 and a half. Money has moved this one up from 2.5 to 3, up from 47 points to a total of 48 and a half, which I'm a little surprised. The Seahawks have been pretty dominant. You could argue their schedule's been weak, so you say that about a lot of teams. The Rams were unstoppable on Sunday, but the San Francisco 49ers had absolutely no prayer of even laying a finger on Matthew Stafford. That is not the MO of the Seattle Seahawks. So in LA, we usually question the home support there. I
Oh
don't know,
yeah,
we'll have a ton of 12s, but probably have plenty.
we'll have a lot.
And I mean, the Seahawks, their defenses look great. I think the big question, because the Rams lost the 49ers earlier this season because they just couldn't outscore them, it seemed to me. They certainly did that no matter the venue in San Francisco on Sunday. I think if the Rams are unable to outscore teams, that might be their biggest flaw. Or we saw with that big collapse against the Eagles that they just couldn't really stop teams. And that seems to me the biggest question. If they're not scoring, I think their defense is under big pressure. I don't think I really want the Seahawks necessarily, but at 3 points, there's plenty of room there. A push on the most common NFL deciding scoreline. And I got to say, I mean, Sam Darnold, we've seen him look great before. He's looked really good. And I think the best player on the field is number 11 in some sort of green.
I could see that. I think that the schedule matters. We've watched Seattle once in prime time against Washington, and then against the Cardinals and Jacoby Brissett. You know, they put up 40 plus points, or I guess they put up 38 against the Commanders. But
They've been murdering teams, which the
yeah, like,
Rams
and there's
were
something to
way
be
ahead
said
of
for
the
that.
Niners too. But yeah.
Yeah, you're right. So it's kind of like one of those. I think if I valued the teams right now, I'd have the Rams higher overall. But in this moment, Seattle looks like they're playing better. I think that they've played weaker competition, but they've been dominating it. So how much do you factor that in? Um, it's it's one thing to win by a field goal at the end against bad competition, and then you're literally making these games no contest by halftime. So this is going to be one of the. It's fun to watch what Seattle's done, and I'll definitely eat some crow on some skepticism there if they can win on Sunday.
Last one we'll get to because we're a little short
Yeah,
on
we're tight.
time. Chiefs are at home to the Denver, or excuse me, visiting the Denver Broncos. Right now, the Chiefs 4-point favorites. Total is 44 and a half. We've seen this number climb from 2.5 look ahead and 45 and a half on the total. So we've lost a point on the total and climbed a point and a half on the Chiefs. So not a lot of belief in those Denver Broncos, Bo Nix, et cetera, et cetera.
Yeah. well, I will say, so they played on Thursday. It
That
was really
helps.
ugly. Yeah, like Chiefs are coming off a bye, but like the schedule didn't do them any favors because you're getting a team that's getting like a miniature bye. I think what we saw Thursday from the Broncos is, rock bottom, uh, undisciplined, terrible penalties. Bo Nix just making awful decisions, and that's what it comes down to. Is like, can we trust him to put forth a good game? Other because if he can play well, this +4 is like every day. +4 at home with that home field advantage, divisional game, um, with the better defense, in my opinion. Like, yeah, that's. Do you disagree?
Yeah, I don't know that the Broncos have a better defense. I think it's good, but I don't know how much better it is than the Chiefs. I feel like I'm back on the Chiefs bandwagon here. I feel like their defense has been phenomenal. No one ever talks about it. They have a quarterback who is not even deserving of being mentioned in the same stratosphere as the one on the home team. Yeah, the altitude seems to matter sometimes, but I literally bet the Giants there who deserved a win in Denver. Um, I feel like I haven't trusted Bo Nix at all. The swing pass king. Like I know I have all these nicknames for these quarterbacks I don't like, but at this point, I feel we got two good defenses. We got a huge gap in the quarterback. I mean, but the number is too big. I don't bet road favorites, so it's Denver or nothing for me, and I will be passing because I just don't think I want to back Bo Nix. But as the number keeps climbing, the more interested I get. I'll put it that way. And that brings us to the end of the show. If you're not following the podcast, please hit subscribe, Apple Podcasts, and on Spotify. Our 5-star reviews are where we're looking for. Comments always appreciated there. If you want to subscribe to the podcast at the real underscore G Warner on YouTube or on Instagram, if you want the reels or the shorts, just the summary of our best bets from the episode. Aiden Short Sticker, where would you like to go for your best bet in this episode? You are the hottest thing on this episode, on this streak, on this
I appreciate you saying
two-person
that.
podcast. And it's not just that you've forgotten the mustache at home or added more to it.
Yeah, I'm gonna add it. It's coming back soon. Okay, I know we're running tight on time. We're gonna go back. This is a team that I faded last week with success. Just you and me talking about it. So we're gonna go to Minnesota and we're gonna take the Vikings -3 at home against the Chicago Bears for my best bet in week 11. Are we in week 11? That's what it is.
We are in week 11. This is week 11 of the Betting the Pitch NFL podcast. And that is a great pick. Captain Handoff instead of Captain Swing Pass, over here. As I
Yeah.
love
You're
these
just
nicknames.
crushing it with those nicknames, man.
I am certainly crushing it. And one thing I will also crush is just going. It's not a road favorite technically, but it is a Bernabeu favorite. So we're going Miami Dolphins. We're riding the streak. I don't know if the Commanders are going to get off the mat. And unfortunately, I think they've looked so flawed defensively, and Mariota is not someone that can bail out that defense. So we're going to go to a London, a Europe game, whatever. We're going to find a small favorite and come on, Dolphins. Break the streak, baby. Break the streak. Dolphins -3. We'll go with the Vikings -3. And let's go some favorites early on Sunday. Get us out of the hole. Let's get us a 2-0. And we'll see you next week on the Betting Pitch NFL podcast.